Today, I want to tell you what the best total knee implant on the market is. Hello and welcome back. I'm Adam Rosen. Thanks again for tuning into the channel. In today's video, I am going to talk about what the best total knee replacement implant is. And if you don't have the patience to watch the whole thing, I'm just going to tell you that there isn't one. Now, when it comes to knee replacements, just understand that it's not a simple answer of like A versus B. I have put in all of the major manufacturers over the years. So Stryker, Zimmer Biomet, DePuy, Smith and Nephew, Microport, and there's a few other companies out there like Medacta, a custom implant company called Conformis, and a whole bunch of other smaller companies. But even when we talk about the companies, they all offer implants, and you can put in a press fit implant or a cemented implant. Surgeons have different alignment philosophy, so you might choose mechanical versus kinematic. There are different surgical approaches, and then even if you narrow it down to a press fit implant with kinematic alignment and a subvastus approach with the Zimmer Persona knee, now you have a whole bunch of polyethylene inserts. The plastic insert, you might choose cruciate retaining or ultra congruent or medial congruent or posterior stabilized, or it just gets more and more complicated. So when it comes to choosing the best implant, usually for pretty much every patient I tell, is put your faith in the surgeon that you chose to do the surgery and let them do the surgery with the implant that they have the most experience and the most comfort with. Because when we look at the data, and this is always important, I try not to bore you with the data, but I'm trying to give you my opinion, but I also want you to understand what the data shows. There are study after study after study after study that compare the different implant manufacturers as far as patient-reported outcomes. So depending on the study, they might look at patient-reported outcome scores on pain or function or time for ambulation or time getting off of a walker. And basically what they find is that there is no difference when you look at short-term and long-term data. And like I was talking about before, one particular implant has multiple plastic inserts. This one particular study looked at one implant with all of the different plastic inserts in a number of patients and found no difference. Now, it gets even more confusing when you talk about custom implants because there is a big push in certain areas with certain surgeons for custom implants. And I know some that are very pro custom and they tend to gravitate towards custom implants for many, if not all of their patients. This does usually come at a cost. So the question is, does it make your knee better after the surgery? And study after study after study doesn't really show a difference. There are some studies that show a early improvement in your activities of daily living. And the other important thing is when you read these studies is you have to look at the author and you have to look at whether or not that author is a paid consultant of company A. Because in any study, if the person doing the study is a paid consultant of the company, you can almost guarantee that the conclusion is going to be favorable for that study design. Because a lot of times we actually have to sign contracts that if we do a study, we actually have to show the results to the company that's paying for the study or paying us before we publish it. Because if it's not positive for their product, they have the right to not allow us to publish, which is always why it's nice to get studies done by unbiased doctors, doctors that don't have any financial incentive to do that. Now, when it comes to my philosophy, what I have always done is usually over years I've transitioned, but I usually have an implant that I'm doing for a long period of time. And there might be different reasons why over the years I switched implant companies. But if I have a patient that has implant A on their right knee and they're seeing me for their left knee, even if I didn't do their knee, the question is, do you like it? Does it work well for you? Because if it does, I'm going to match it, meaning I'm going to put the same implant on the other side. Because if I do everything right and I put in a different manufacturer and you see an x-ray that looks slightly different and it hurts or is stiff, you're going to blame it on the fact that we didn't put in the same implant that you had on the other side that was working well for you, even though the studies don't show a difference. Now, on the flip side, if I see a patient who has implant A from another doctor and they're just not happy with it, I can offer them the option of, hey, we can put in a different implant and see if maybe this one works better for you. Understanding in my mind that the implant is just one small piece of the puzzle and the studies don't show that there's a difference. And usually they get a better result, better outcome, and they're happy. Doesn't really matter because of the implant choice. The other analogy, when patients get really sort of picky about implants, and I say, hey, look, if you had a car and you had this car for years and you were comfortable with the seat position and the mirror position and where all the controls were, you could drive it very efficiently. And if you went on vacation and rented a car, any car, you could drive it. But you have to manipulate and modify the seat and the lights and the mirrors, and the buttons are just off, and you still get from point A to point B, but you have to fiddle a little bit from time to time. And that's the same thing with a surgeon and an implant. Like, once a surgeon gets really, really comfortable with an implant, they know all the nuances of the implant and the cuts and the balancing and the instrumentation, and it just makes for a more efficient operation, and they can make little minor tweaks that will hopefully lead to the best possible outcome. And if you pigeonhole a surgeon into saying, hey, I want this implant, you have to put this implant in me, and if they've never done it, I'll be honest with you, pretty much every knee replacement steps are the same, but there are minor nuances. So if a surgeon is trying something out for the first time, or maybe it's a knee that they don't use on a regular basis, there's a chance that they might not put in the best knee procedure and implant that they could, because they were fiddling with instrumentation or trying to understand how the parts work. Now, when it comes to custom implants, and again, I don't knock custom implants. I'm not really sure it's worth the money, and I'm sure there's really, really good surgeons putting them in. But in my world, I see a lot of second opinions. I see a bunch of patients that had custom knees. They spent extra money for a custom knee, and they came to see me because they have pain or swelling or instability. And a lot of times they're telling me that the surgeon blew them off, like, well, I put in a custom knee. It's designed just for you. It doesn't always mean that it's going to work well for you and not cause pain. So I'm a little biased because I don't see all of the patients that get custom knees and have a great result, because they won't come and see me for a second opinion. But I do see a fair number. And to be honest with you, they're usually coming from surgeons that are not super high volume. So my fear always is, like, are surgeons using the idea of a custom implant as a marketing tool to get patients into their office without being able to deliver 100% success on a regular basis, which is hard for any of us. But they might inflate that feeling in patients because they think a custom implant is better. So use your judgment as to what surgeon you gravitate to and for what reason. And I usually tell my patients, like, hey, put your faith in the surgeon. Don't try to dictate what implant they're going to use. Because at the end of the day, if you look at multiple studies, the majority of the time we can't prove any difference. And if we could, just realize that orthopedic surgeons, especially joint surgeons, I'll tell you, are a little nerdy when it comes down to the scientific literature and data. Like, we really look at these studies and read them and talk about them. And if there was conclusive evidence that a particular company and a particular implant design was the best, everybody would gravitate towards it because we would have data that would support it. Now, the United States is definitely behind the eight ball. So when we talk about registries, Australia and the UK registry and a bunch of other companies have these countrywide registries that collect data, and they were actually able to see problems with implants, like in the metal on metal error and hip replacements, early, because they were seeing complications from multiple centers all around the country at the same time. Where when you work in your little hospital and you only see your outcomes and your complications, it may take a while before you see big issues or big benefits. So recently, America has started creating a national registry, although not everybody puts their information in there. So is it possible in 15, 20 years, we might have enough data to be able to say, this is the best implant, or this is the best implant in young people or old people or pickleball players or tennis players? Maybe. But at the current time, don't worry so much about the implant company and design. Focus more on pain control, swelling control, your rehab, getting a good night's rest, proper nutrition, because those are all variables that are actually under your control and have a much better impact on giving you a great result after knee replacement surgery in comparison to what metal and plastic parts are put into your knee. So I hope you've enjoyed this content. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, click that little subscribe button. And until next time, as always, I'm Adam Rosen. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.